Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Tracing Roots Telling Tales Tuesday, and this is Genealogy with Donna, episode 43. Goodness sakes, 43, and we're already in the second week of January 2026. Whoa. Okay, let me ask you something. So, what are you known for? What do your grandkids know you for? What do your kids know you for? For me, they can never go wrong in giving me something having to do with peanuts. Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Lucy is something else. Linus, where's Linus? Where'd he go? There? Yeah. Sally, up in the top here. So we know, and Peppermint Patty. Marcy. What else have we got here? Who else have we got? Woodstock, the little bird. Anyway, I have Peanuts things. If the kids want to get me a gift, they know that if they give me a Peanuts something or Charlie Brown something, I will be ecstatic. The gnomes, if you've been following along with me at all, I got a gnome advent calendar from Choti and Ali, and I've been opening them. I didn't get it until we saw them, which was the day before their anniversary on the 30th. So I've been opening one every day, and it's kind of cool. There are going to be 24 of them, and that will be a whole village. Check out today's post with Eldon. Interesting. Just interesting. Anyway, so what are you known for? What does your family know you for? Because they know you, or at least you hope they do. And that's because you are a real person. You're not just a name. They know you. They spend time with you. They understand who you are. So when we're doing our family trees, we want to understand who the people are. We don't want them to just be names, birthday, death date. I mean, we want to flesh them out. So humanizing them goes beyond just the dates and the documents. You know, where were they born? Where were they married? Where did they die? Where were they buried? Where did they spend the most of their lives? Some of that will tell you at least the conditions, the environment, the weather that they went through during their lives. And when you look up those time frames, that will help you flesh out, what was the clothing like? What were the jobs available in the area? What kind of home did they live in? If you happen to have the address, you'd be able to Google the address. Unfortunately, for some of us, we have an address, but they knocked down the building that was there, and something new has been built in its place. I went to where my father grew up. Big house, you could tell, but it had been cut into three. It was a triplex now. But I got to see the outside of it. I never realized my father grew up in a larger home. I was surprised at that. I shouldn't have been, but I was. I've seen where my mother grew up. I have that address, and that still exists today with a little guest house in the back. So that's kind of cool. Though they have removed the pepper tree that was there, that Mom talked about climbing up in to get away from her brother, because he was taller, heavier, 7 years older, and so she could get up there and hide away from him. She talked about squirreling away her tomato sandwiches during the Depression when he wanted some, and she would hide away from him. So those are the kind of humanizations that we want. I'm lucky enough that I had those stories that were shared with me. We don't always have that. It was a surprise to me that my great-grandmother drove. Why? Well, she was over 70 when I was born, and she lived to be 96. Well, she had no reason to drive. At that point, she's on Social Security and can't afford to drive, to have the cost of a car and insurance and gas, etc. And she lived in an area that had public transportation, and then once a week my grandmother would come and take her either grocery shopping or dress shopping. I think she went dress shopping twice a year to pick up new outfits. Nothing like Amazon or DoorDash or any of the stuff that exists today. And actually, that didn't exist back in the year 2000. So there you have it. Names and dates are only the beginning. Like I said, I had a name and a date. I was able to go to newspapers.com. That's where I found the story of my great-grandmother. It was kind of amazing. I didn't know she was driving in 1933. And she was living in the San Gabriel area, Alhambra area. How did she get all the way out to Riverside? What roads would take her to Riverside? Was she a competent driver? It was about an accident, so I don't know if she was a competent driver or not. Why would she be out in Riverside? What was out there? Things that records don't tell us. I mean, this newspaper story talked about the accident. It talked about the people involved, what the injuries were, how it happened, but it doesn't tell me about her. It's not a personal story. And when we're talking about personal stories, do we give it to a newspaper or do we just give it to our family? So sometimes when you do genealogy, you wind up with more questions than answers because those kinds of, I'm a why person anyway, so I'm curious all the time. So it's kind of interesting. I have way more questions than I have answers, and it's just amazing. When you do these kinds of things, you think about their daily lives. Where did they work? What was their time frame? Did they work 8 to 5? Did they work 6 to 2? Did they work 10 hours a day? I don't think they had shortened work weeks. Did they did they work Monday through Friday and then they had to work a different job on Saturday and Sunday to make ends meet? Did they live during the Depression? Had things been good in the 1920s all the way up to the crash? And then they lost their job. How did that work? What were their fears? What were their hopes? What did they think about after the Depression was over? Unfortunately, there was the war. So what did they do after the war if they were still alive? And then putting things in context. When did they have their children? Where did they have their children? What were they doing at the time they had their children? Those kinds of things help, again, to flesh out the person. Now, if you're just the kind of person that wants a one-dimensional, birth, death, name, the least that you could have would be find a grave, and you could at least see the memorial. Maybe the memorial will give you more information. You could maybe get a picture of them because somebody else has placed a tree that was closer to, maybe they have a photograph around it and they place it in a public, tree, and then you have that opportunity to see a picture of them. I've had that opportunity a few times with a cousin, Spivey. I was able to see his Civil War picture, which is just amazing. And I have posted that occasionally when it comes up on my memories, just to keep it fresh and to have my family know that we have, through my great-grandmother, we have people that fought in the Civil War. So that's really cool. So, real talk, how your ancestors were living full lives and not just filling out forms. So think about that. Pick one person. It is daunting when you think about a whole family tree. So pick one person that you're interested in, one person that you wonder about their story, one person that maybe has the same middle name as you or the same name as you, and research how, about them. Maybe you were named in honor of them. Maybe your parents thought so much of this person from whatever generation it was that they named you after them. And so maybe that's an obligation that you have, that you feel you have, to go research that person and go down the rabbit hole, because that's a person you want to know. You want to flesh out. You want to see if you can have some kind of a connection with them. I also was going to give you today the more physical traits. So I didn't want to forget to do that. I have another page of physical traits. Your physical strength is a trait. Playing an instrument is a trait. Playing music by ear. Can you do that? Oh, I think I've only known 2 people that could do that. Whether you have quick reflexes or not. Remembering dreams. I remember dreams. If I wake up and I think about them, I will remember that I did dream, but within an hour, unless I continue or I write it down or I continue to think of it mentally, I forget it. I tell Mike, oh, I had a dream last night. And then I completely go blank about what it was about. Very weird. Whether you're a risk taker or not, whether you get endorphins from a runner's high is a trait. Is that interesting or what? Being self-disciplined, your skin pigmentation, whether you have speed when you run. Are you fast? That's a trait. Spicy foods, do you like them? Do you not like them? Whether you have a sweet sensitivity, you can blame that on your dad or your great-grandmother. Taking naps, that's a trait. Blame it on the ancestors that came before you when you need a nap. Don't blame it on the kids and they're exhausting. Don't do that. Whether or not you're ticklish is also a trait. Those are the ones I have for today. I'll probably have one more list because this is only through the T's. I probably will have one more list for you next week. Otherwise, I wish you well. I hope you have a great second week of January, second week of 2026, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.